Well, hey, I'm Tim with E3. Ethan from E3 is on with me. I'm gonna let Patrick in. Uh, yes, so I wish I had a better speech worked out, but so we're gonna use Zoom as a connector, and I think there's 2 moderators per track session, and so then essentially each moderator will meet a presenter in the quote unquote green room, which will be a Zoom meeting, and make sure their camera works and that they have their slides ready if they're presenting. If they're not presenting, if they're just doing Q&A, then we just want to make sure that their camera works and their mic works. And then at approximately 5 minutes till, you'll put a link into the chat for the presenter, and that will send them to the stage Zoom meeting, at which point we'll pull them into the stream. If their presentation is running, we'll have something masking their initial connection so that we can talk to them and just make sure everything's good to go. Then we'll send them on stage, which will be live, and they can answer questions. The questions will be coming via the Slack channel, which you'll probably have to help them with as moderators, or they can, in theory, they can be reading it themselves. But if you see a question that's that they ought to answer, or you can help direct there too. And you'll also be keeping them on time, which may be a challenge or not. I'm not sure about that.
Yeah, that was my biggest question.
Oh. Go right, Rosemary.
I was just gonna say timing and things like that was my kind of biggest questions, because of course if a talk is pre-recorded, then that time, but is it up to the moderator to kind of like, okay, their talk, like, should we still be keeping that time of 20 minutes long total and say like, okay, next is this presenter?
Yes. And you should follow the magic link into the stage with the presenter, and then which will allow you to, if you unmute yourself, you can talk and say, hey, sorry, we're running out of time, last question, or, oh, that was it.
So,
Thanks.
so is that link for the different presenters going to be the same across the entire session? So if there's 4 talks during a session, that link will be the same. So then that person who's moderating bounces back and forth between the 2.
Correct.
Things. And they can both be open at the same time, I imagine.
Yes.
And their face won't show on the presentation. It'll just be voice.
Just make sure they're when they come into the stage, mute your video, or kill your video, mute your video.
And Tim, will the presenters see any sort of clock letting them know how much time they have left, or is that up to them and the moderator?
Yeah, not on our end. It'd be up to them and the moderator.
You can also send them chats in the chat section, letting them know they've got like 5 minutes left or whatnot. That way it doesn't take them by surprise.
Mm-hmm.
The chat function of the Zoom meeting, right?
Right.
Right.
Okay.
When will we be getting the link?
Oh, go ahead.
When will we be getting the stage links?
We can send that to you like a day ahead of time.
If you're a host,
we can send them earlier, but yeah, you'll have them ahead of time.
I think with Zoom, isn't it true that if you're a host of a meeting, that like in the gallery or any view, like you kind of show up as the first one too as well, or is that just random? I'm just thinking for like showing the time constraints.
Yeah, we'll be managing Yeah, there's multiple ways to dial that in.
Okay.
And the green room that you said, if we ask people to come in beforehand, is that the same link as the stage link, or is there another link?
No, it's a separate.
It's a separate link. And when will
Yeah.
we get that link?
You'll get them both ahead of time.
Okay, so we'll be getting 2 links ahead of time, one for the green
Yeah.
room and one for the stage.
Stage, yes.
And Tim, is that going to be consistent? Like for track 1 all day, it'll be the same 2 links?
Yes.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah, we don't want to get too tricky with the links.
Are we at a place here where oh sorry, Grayson, go ahead.
Sorry,
Grayson.
Nick. I think I'm delayed on my end, so I tend to talk over people. My apologies. So do I understand we're going to be either hosts or co-hosts in that stage and green room? And so will we have, what kind of privileges will we have, I guess, in terms of moderating?
Yeah, you will have, it'll be an average meeting, so anyone could, in theory, talk. You just mute yourself so you don't go live when you don't want to.
So the
Almost.
And
you go, Grayson.
I was just going to ask, so is it really only going to be the moderator and then the presenter or presenters that are actually part of the meeting?
Correct. And
Okay.
an E3 person.
And there's no real
We
reason
won't
for the
have to worry
moderator to
about
go.
audience members.
Yeah, no audience members.
And no reason for the moderator to go in even to the presentation room unless they need to say something or mark time or do anything. So good to have access to that link. Are we set up that we could run through and do a little pretend like fake presentation?
I think so.
Like here, maybe one of us is like I can make a quick fake deck of 2 slides or something. And
Yeah, and my
can do
question
pretend.
too, a little before then, is Nick, and maybe this will help out with that, but like I'm curious as to how, like, if the moderator should, I mean, we might go in at the beginning and give the little intro, and then should we actually talk in between presenters or not? I don't know. That's definitely something that I'm still trying to figure out.
And I have that question too. And also if we have live presentations and then a recorded one, right?
Ginny, Rosemary, I think we can do that. I think maybe that's a board meeting discussion. We can decide what would be the best way to transition, but it sounds like certainly we can, as moderators, the moderators can make that transition as long as we provide clear instructions, right?
And will E3 then just automatic, when we're ready for a recorded presentation after a live session, E3 will automatically roll that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Tim, that's actually to follow up with that. That was one thing I wanted to check with you. I remember we talked about, I couldn't remember if it was live pre-record or pre-record live. That's the easier flow for you.
Either one.
Because as you've seen in the sheet, we've kind of have them all over. Okay, so either one, but that's the easiest, right? Live, pre-record, live, pre-record.
Yes.
Okay, I'll do some rearranging and then update SCAD, and then Rosemary, I'll let you know too. Okay.
And I apologize if I missed it. So is the expectation that the moderator will do some kind of introduction for each of the presenters, or is that not going to be happening?
I think it's TBD, Grayson, but we will send it out. Probably yes, and I think we'll make clear. I'm working on guidelines right now, so we'll
Okay.
make that sure. I think there'll definitely be a beginning little talk, and then we'll figure out if you're going to talk in between presenters or not.
And also, like, I could imagine, like, in the questions, if the moderator wants, if there's, like, a lot of questions, but there's only, like, 2 minutes left to answer questions, that we could leave it up to the moderator to be monitoring and pick, like, 2 questions to ask the speaker. So I could see this moderator needing to also chime in at that point.
Related, Tim, we won't be able to actually interrupt a speaker on a pre-recorded video. Have the times been checked on recording, or has that kind of been up to the presenter?
Yeah.
We've been checking them pretty closely.
Awesome. You're on top of things.
We're trying.
And so one thing that like Pat was asking a similar question about the exact time of each of the pre-records, but what I was assuming, Tim, is that like we can check that where you're storing all of the edited talks and like take note of ourselves in the speaker spreadsheet of the length that the recorded ones are from the video that you're uploading.
Mm-hmm.
So we can share that information with moderators too.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And Kim, if someone has a pre-recorded session, but they're there for questions, the questions are not recorded and then added to their pre-recorded session, right? That it'll just be whatever they pre-recorded beforehand, right?
The stream will be recorded, so in theory, yes, we could add the questions to the ones that end up on YouTube.
Tim, sorry, related to the question I just asked about the length of the recorded talks, when would you say is a safe bet to look like for at least like day one or something and maybe even day two, like maybe we should do it like, I mean, I guess we'd have to, we have orders of talks, but we mentioned to them in the speaker email that, you know, that could change in order to do the pre-record live, but just to make sure that we are coordinating with the speakers to get in the green room the 5 minutes before, et cetera. When do you think we should take a look at that folder? I know you still have some going on today, so not to put additional stress on
Monday
anything.
would be a good day.
Perfect. Thank you.
So,
sorry, general question. Should we invite all of the speakers to like be in the green room for the entire session? Like, is that sort of the best route, or should we just say only hop in kind of like before you?
I would lean towards all of them because you want to make sure their tech works with multiple people. So yeah,
Right.
And then they can talk to each other while they're waiting. And yeah, I think all of them would be good.
Okay.
if there is a technical issue the day of, who should we be reaching out to get help?
I'd reboot. That was a joke, but usually a reboot solves it. But yeah, if you have serious tech trouble, we'll have a back channel probably in WhatsApp. So
we'll probably be standing by inside the green room as well, right?
Yeah, yeah, we'll have a presence.
Okay, so there will be an E3 person there.
Yeah.
All right.
But we
And that
won't
would-
be.
And how about on the NACIS side, if there's a scheduling issue or something comes up, is there going to be a contact person?
Yeah, we'll have a couple of
Yeah,
channels.
we're gonna. Oh, sorry, Nick. Sorry. That's something that we're actually have as a thing to discuss in our board meeting today to get more details and
Okay.
have a concrete workflow that we'll be able to share with everybody.
Okay, could we pretend I just showed up and I'm a presenter, and who wants to be my moderator?
I'll do it.
All right. Moderate me. Keep me to my time.
Okay, so I guess this Zoom meeting, is this like what we would expect the green room to look like?
Yeah.
Or not yet?
Exactly.
Okay.
Less people.
Right. 5-ish people. Well,
Yeah.
Give or take. All right, good. Nick, looks like your tech is working. Hi.
It is me. I'm live.
Hey,
So
could
then
you
I
put-
would then,
I'd ask them to share their slides ahead of time, just so
okay.
you can see it. And that they have, because some people, oh yeah, and I've had
How
to
do I
walk a
share?
few through it. Yeah.
Okay. So Nick, you're going live. Can you share your slides, which you just do by sharing your screen, correct?
Yes.
That sounds reasonable. I will share my. Now, do I share my whole screen or do I share my one application?
It's usually safer to do just the application, but
Yeah. I'm just testing Rosemary.
Oh, sorry. Shoot, I wanted to know.
I'm kidding. So system preferences. So this is a great one to start with because my Zoom said system preferences doesn't allow me to share. So let's go to that situation right away. So screen sharing is not allowed by your computer, so I need to add zoom.us. But it's protected by a lock, so I have to unlock it and use my password, which is my fingerprint, and then allow Zoom US to share. Now I have to quit and reopen Zoom, so I will quit and reopen Zoom. So I think this is going to be probably a common experience for us. So I can.
Yeah, I'm curious. I feel like most people have used Zoom. It's just because I wonder why that's popping up.
I use Zoom all the time, but I never share presentations with my family, and otherwise I'm on other things for work. I don't have many decks prepared for my family on our Friday dinner nights.
Okay, all right, so this is important. So now, let me just be clear. Only the people that are presenting live will have to share their screens. Is that correct?
Correct.
Well, is that true? Because we want them to be able to participate in the Q&A afterwards, potentially. So
yeah, but it'll be just webcam at that point.
Okay.
Okay.
But this is a pretty common occurrence. I mean, I've literally had to say, click the green button, choose PowerPoint, then there's a blue button in the lower right. Yeah, so.
Probably worth checking on a couple, like a Windows and a Mac, and making sure that we have the workflow.
Maybe it'd be a good idea when we're all in the green room, maybe when a virtual or recorded presentation is going, we could kind of go one by one with our presenters and ask them to test their slides.
Right. Which is what we're doing. So I'm gonna disappear and reopen Zoom, and I'll be right back.
Okay. Yeah, the only issue I see with that, John, is moderator is also going to be watching Slack. So moderators definitely have a lot of things to juggle this year, but.
For the green room, if there's 2 for each track for each day, so if we get down to it early, would there be people from the previous session still in the previous session's green room?
Yes.
Okay.
Which is fine.
That's kind of fun.
Except that if they're trying to troubleshoot, okay, all right, they're trying to troubleshoot at the same time we're trying to troubleshoot. Okay.
Well, is there time? I need to open up Slack or Sketch right now.
Okay.
There should be time.
We don't have a lot of. Yeah, there should be breaks in between the sessions.
Okay. Okay.
I'll go ahead and share my keynote. My very exciting keynote that I just put together as we were talking this morning. All right, we're testing it to see if it works.
Woohoo!
And of course, you see presenter notes, I bet.
Yes.
Here's a good tip for them is for people on a Mac, if it's Keynote, who uses that, but you hit X and it'll switch it right away. All right, I'm presenting very interesting things about a very interesting subject that everyone wants to hear about. I have another slide and it's very interesting and you're all fascinated, and then I'm running over time because I'm talking so excitedly about my topic.
Yeah, do we have we probably don't have sort of like a stage link.
We do.
Technically, we do. Okay.
We do. I managed to crash the stream earlier testing it. So beware, we haven't quite dialed it in yet. So, but here,
So if I stop share, so we tested it, so that was great.
Yeah.
Cool.
So there's a link to get to the stage Zoom.
So this stage Zoom is just for Nick and myself right now. So should we both click on it, you think? Or should I say, Nick, you go to the stage? I mean, I guess this is the question. It's sort of like, if we both clicked on it, then I could do a little introduction.
Yeah,
so,
you could.
So where do I?
The link in the chat.
All right, and then the chat's at the bottom.
Going to open up 2 Zooms on my...
No, it's going to move you.
You'll have to.
Okay, so we're both
leave
going
the
to
green room. Yeah, you're going to disappear.
And nobody else is going to see us right now because nobody else
Yeah,
has the
because
link.
no one else is in there, yeah.
All right, well, Nick and I'll go in there and see what it's
All right,
like.
see you soon, Rosemary.
I'm going to switch headphones.
So only the current presenter and the moderator would be in the stage.
Yes, that's correct.
Okay.
And then the moderator would, I presume,
Rosemary.
leave the stage after we do our introduction and it looks like things are rolling. We can duck out and go back into the green room.
Yes, you can. It will be probably important to have you there for the Q&A session.
Okay, and
just as far as fielding questions to them, or
yeah, and you aren't putting us into the presentation room. We're clicking a link to go into the presentation room.
Yes, we'll be posting the links, and we'll probably tag the people who it is intended for.
And so the presenters are responsible for going into the presentation room themselves. We don't do that for them. They go in themselves.
So Nick, go ahead and
their turn.
share your slides.
Can you mute on this one?
Yeah, it sounds like that's the case, Ginny.
Oh, I see.
I just have a question about the like the Slack channel and how we're going to field questions. Is it? I'm getting the impression that everybody who's participating in a session will be invited to a Slack channel. Is that right? And then we can collect.
Yeah,
questions.
we're working on a NACIS Slack that we have a lot of information to send out still, but we have a Slack workspace NACIS. And for each session, we have a channel. So we're going to ask everybody that is, if they have a question and the presenter and everything, to know that that's the channel. And we've kind of named them, so they should be easy to find. Morning track, like the name NACIS 2020, the name of the track, like morning, afternoon, and then the name of the actual session. And so as moderator, you'll be moderating your session's Slack channel.
Do you want us to invite the presenters into the Slack channel as well, or do you think that'll be kind of distracting?
I don't know. We can, I mean, I feel like, well, one of the ideas we were thinking too is that by having the Slack channels already in there, presenters wanted to share anything before their talk or anything like that with anybody that was going to attend, that they could. What I would recommend is to, during their presentation, maybe to mute or to turn Slack off and then turn it back on when they're ready for their QA. And then, you know, as moderator, if there's time, and taking a couple of questions, and then if they want to go back into their tracks channel to answer, to follow up or answer any questions that they weren't able to.
And then sorry, go ahead.
That's a good point, Mamatha, because even if somebody closes Slack, their announcements are more likely to be on. They'll get the knock brush sound all the time because everybody's going to be asking questions.
I know.
So we can maybe advise them to actually kill it from the system, and then reopen it. So that'll be important. Otherwise, we'll just get the knocks all day.
I know, and that's like a setting a lot of people don't turn off.
Actually, I could.
Yeah, and then I was just going to say, just a thought from the technical standpoint, doing the Q&A, having the speaker try to read the questions and then answer them can be sometimes clunky because you'll have the pause there as they're trying to process or find or read or whatnot. So I don't know. I would propose having the moderators read off the questions to the speaker so that then they can just focus on answering the question.
And
yeah, totally.
We should also encourage anyone who like has a question later or a question that didn't get answered to follow up with the Slack thread or something in that group. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
I have just one, sorry, a quick follow-up question on questions. Are people going to be able to ask questions in the Zoom presentation chat as well? And then if so, I mean, I personally would be fine with that, but if so, maybe we'll just have to kind of keep track of both chats.
No, so we're not having everyone join the live stream from Zoom. It'll actually be live streamed out to a different platform. So they won't have access to the Zoom chat or any of that.
Okay, cool. Thanks.
We're just using Zoom on the back end to then capture that, and then we are rebroadcasting it out.
In terms of moderators and presenters joining the green room, normally when I moderated other seminars and classes, I tend to ask presenters to join about 30 minutes before just to make sure everything's in order. Is there a recommendation of the NACIS folks that you want us to follow?
Yeah, I would have them join.
You're muted.
Yes, I would have them join 30 minutes early.
Okay. Good.
So, okay. And then like we have some of these NACIS hosted events where board members and stuff are going to be speaking. And I guess like what is it possible like if we didn't want to go, I don't know. I'm trying to think like, is there like, what if there was multiple board members doing a presentation? Like can it be broadcasted via Zoom so they could see like all of us, or would it just is it best to just not do something different? So we like if I was gonna say welcome to NACIS, and then Leo would take it over, and then Rosemary, and then Nick, or you know whoever, we'll just all be in the green room, even though it would be like shorter kind of segments. I guess it would just follow the same workflow.
Okay, awesome.
Yes, it will follow the same workflow, and we can, like if the board wants to make a presentation on the stream, they can all join the stream via Zoom. It's just like as if multiple presenters were presenting at the same time.
Okay.
So how would that work?
Oh, I see. So where Rosemary and Nick just went, we could all go.
Mm-hmm.
Right. That was a question that I sort of had. So like in the opening session or the business meeting where we're going from one to another, so I imagine that all of us that are in the green room that are likely to be part of that presentation will be there. And then if I start and say, you know, welcome everyone to NACIS, blah, blah, over to you, Mamata. Awesome. And then my thing will get smaller and hers will get bigger. Is that the way it works? Will someone be in charge of making the speaker be the main element, or is it all going to be small boxes like we're seeing now?
So if you're ready to go. We'll dial Zoom in so it follows the speaker, and if it glitches and doesn't, we'll help it.
Okay, thanks. That's what I want to know. Good.
Can we go over the process again of how we remind people if they're running long? Do we just type in?
Yeah,
okay.
Just verbally, or okay. I mean, you could give them a heads up, like, hey, you got 1 minute in the Zoom chat.
Yeah, I think that might be something we brainstorm a little bit today, Ginny. But
yeah.
worst case scenario, you just kind of speak over them.
Okay. Rosemary, I'm making notes in our presenter guidelines document right now, so we can.
I'm making notes. I don't know where, 1,000 places. So we'll compare. Yeah, and what was I lost my train of thought. Anyhow.
So how did it go, Nick and Rosemary? What happened? How was Nick's talk?
It was amazing.
Yeah, really good. Really, I had to cut him off, but you know, no, that we will. there's a lot of I know we're all kind of like, I don't quite get this, but I think it all makes sense, and we'll just have to be, take some deep breaths and use it all. But I think it was pretty cool. It was very meta. It was like he showed us the stream when we were on the Zoom and this and that. One of the big things we'll have to figure out, and moderators just bear in mind, is there's going to be two important links: the link to the green room, which is one Zoom, and the link to the presentation, which is another Zoom. And if you're bouncing back and forth between them, you're literally just going to one Zoom, leaving it, going to another Zoom. So, and we don't want to share those out too widely because we only want the people in there that need to be in there. So that'll probably be the most important thing to just, have, and Tim said he can put them in the chat if need be, but really probably the biggest thing for the moderator would just be like, have those two links available so you can quickly turn them on and off and things like that. So, but we'll clarify that.
Hey, I am totally up for taking everyone in this meeting through that process that we just did. So if you'd like to, we can do that.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
All right.
Through the rabbit hole we go.
I have to run, but I guess I'll get the notes from somebody at some point.
Yeah, we'll be sending them out. And thanks for stopping by. And if you have any questions, if you're nervous at all, just let us know. We're here to answer questions.
Yeah, and we're all Wednesday, we're all figuring this out together because obviously we've never done this before. So
well, let me know if I can help with anything.
Thanks.
Okay, cool. All right, bye everyone.
Bye.
I'm sure that makes Patrick feel good that Wednesday's going to be the test case for everybody.
That's what he's always about.
That's why it's practical.
Well, the opening session and the keynote will really be like, yeah, we'll see.
So who wants to go first?
I can go ahead and go through the link.
Woohoo!
Am I meeting anybody on the other side, or is it just going to be me?
I'll be there.
Okay. All right, see you in a minute.
Hey, so Tim's wondering if he'd get one more person to jump over there with him.
I can do that.
Perfect.
Tim.
Be the fake presenter, John.
There you go.
Okay.
We can actually obey John and nobody will watch this presentation.
Does anybody else Zoom take forever to join a Zoom?
What do you mean? Say it again.
How long is forever?
Like, I mean, I literally have to join a Zoom like these days 5 minutes beforehand to like.
No. That doesn't seem reasonable at
yeah,
all.
No.
That is forever.
Yeah, so I don't know. Now I'm worried about like joining another. Oh, but we won't be joining a Zoom from a Zoom. We're just joining the Zoom.
Yeah, you're leaving one Zoom and joining another one. So I guess you will see today how long that takes you.
Yeah,
maybe you should try right now.
Yeah.
I was going to say you should probably test that. Hopefully, because Zoom is already running, it won't be quite as much of a process. But yeah, you never know.
I'm going to do it. I'm going to go into that room too.
Yeah, notice we haven't seen John or Grayson yet. So bye, Mamata. I hope you come back out in the other dimension okay.
See you in 10 minutes, Mamata.
What happens during those 5 minutes? That's amazing.
Are we supposed to be seeing those links pop up?
They're in the chat.
Where's?
That's a good question. Down at the bottom, there's a chat.
Chat should be on the bottom.
Share screen.
Participants? Is that it?
Next to it.
Next to it.
Is chat.
Participants, share screen, record reaction.
Oh.
If you enlarge your screen a little bit, it could have hidden that.
Okay, perfect.
Huh.
And
Participants, share screen, record reaction.
so in theory, the other session.
We all have chat after being participants and share screen.
No.
I'm now sending you
Did you shrink your Zoom window at all, or is it full screen?
I am on a high-res 4K Big ol'.
There's Grayson in the upper left-hand corner and his screen share.
Okay, then.
Not coming through.
Jeannie, go up to the help and just like search chat and then.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to find.
Show
Can't find the help either. No wonder I'm so confused. Okay. Help.
Jeannie really is in a void.
Where's the help?
Tim, I'll try to get you that. So Mamatha has there's a big spreadsheet of like presenters, and it has the list of each session, all the presenters, their time of their talks, and if they're pre-recorded or live. So that'll definitely, it's got like a lot of good information. So we'll definitely have that to share.
And we'll have like the moderators will have the 2 links in advance, I imagine, right? The green room and the.
Yeah, it sounds like
we're just doing two stages. Is that what we decided?
Yeah, I mean, there's always there's usually 2 tracks going, so you'll just know like this is
Which
my
one?
Yeah.
And then we'll also have 1 green room per stage.
Right.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah.
But right, those are the same links all day, right? So don't lurk in there if you well, or do if you want to, I guess.
Should someone go look for Ginny and Grayson and John? They've one by one they've dropped off and they haven't come back.
Well, Tim can see them. He's talking to them.
I didn't mean Ginny. Sorry, I meant Mamatha. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
I think they're just still doing stuff. They're because and Tim can see them. He's our in between.
I can't even find the more. I'm looking at the help center. There's no more button. There's no chat setting. There's no settings button.
That's really weird. I think that maybe a good piece of advice for us is to send out to the presenters to make sure to update to the latest Zoom ahead of time, since we are using Zoom, just in case there's anything there.
You think that's it? That it's not the latest version?
I don't know. Unplug it and plug it back in, right? It's
reboot.
Are you on a Mac or a PC, Ginny?
I'm on a PC. Maybe I should. I'm on my work computer, so maybe I should switch to my.
I'm not sure. I'm not familiar with it on a PC, so I don't know if it looks different. That's my only thing.
Let me go get the Mac.
Maybe she could share her screen and we could diagnose it.
That's a good point. Jenny, come back. She won't hear us. She had headphones in. Oh no, Mamatha says she's locked out of the other meeting too.
That's pretty much it.
This is like a Twilight Zone. People go away and they don't come back.
Okay. Hey Tim, I think Mamatha is trying to get into either back into this meeting or into the other one. She's locked out. She is in no man's land.
Okay, so our friend should be joining back in here. Tim's asking if we can have a couple more volunteers.
I can go.
They also said you could share your screen and we could try to diagnose your chat issue.
Volunteers to do what? I mean, do you want me to go in the green room? I'll do that. I'll try. Is that what you want?
Yeah, just to walk through it and
kind
of get a
sounds like
first-hand
you're
experience.
go to the other one, Leo.
All right. If you don't see me, it was nice knowing you.
Alex or Tim can try too, or Elaine. What happened, Mamatha?
I didn't get let in, so then I left that one and came back. But in total, it's been about 6 minutes, 5 minutes. I don't know. I gotta look at some.
But you might be. Maybe it wasn't the time. I mean, it sounded like you were just trying to be led into both different ones, right?
Yeah, and it takes the thing spins for about a minute to join. So.
This is so meta, watching them watching us in the background.
This is why I don't have my camera turned on.
Elaine.
There she is.
I'm
lurking.
Can you let me into the meeting?
I like it.
I'm trying to join on my other computer.
Maybe that's what happened is Mamata, he just didn't let you into that other one.
Yeah, sorry. I
Missed
think
missed the
that's what-
moment.
Yeah.
I'll go on the next round.
Cool.
He's back.
Back. It's funny, but it's nice how helpful it is just to have the experience here instead of the day of. It's great.
Well, you get two of me.
Stereo.
Rosemary, as everybody's filtering in and out of the stage room. Sorry about that. I'm just wondering, is there anything else we as moderators should be aware of or things we need to be keeping our eye out for? I know there's going to be some guidelines coming, but anything else?
I mean, I think the biggest thing is moderating the Q&A, which will be happening in Slack. So that's going to be, in a totally different thing. So there will be a specific Slack channel for the kind of the room. And I'm hoping that like kind of once you introduce the speaker, they'll be talking and you can kind of be looking at both and just figuring out, and we need to, I have this as a question to talk about with the board. I don't know if we want to just do, kind of like first come, first serve question, or, use your discretion and choose kind of the most interesting. I'm going to propose a, like, if people have the same question, you can use the like thumbs up emoji so you'll know which are the more popular questions. I don't know. That's basically, I think the technology of letting people, of making sure the presentations are going on and then helping to facilitate Q&A is the biggest thing. And timing, and also, and just keeping timing going on, which we're gonna, again, figure out some concrete steps for that and some suggestions and be sending that out over the weekend probably.
Additionally, ahead of time, we let people choose whether or not they wanted to do a Q&A. So there may be people in your session that have chosen not to do a Q&A at all. So we just need to be aware of that during the sessions to pay attention to.
And we
are the presenters getting any practice? Oh, sorry, Mamata. Yeah, I mean, should we be meeting with them beforehand, or are we just going to do that 30 minutes and call it good?
So some of them that have pre-recorded, of course, have done this practice. I don't know, have any of the other ones done any practice that are doing it live?
No, I mean, I think like, I feel like it's, if they're in the room, like Tim saying 30 minutes beforehand, hopefully like, I don't know.
So yeah, and then I know you took over for Hans's session, so you've been in email coordination. I would just kind of after it's always good to check in and just kind of so now that you have a little better of an understanding, you can reach back out to them. And again, we're going to be sending out presenter guidelines and moderator guidelines with much more information. You can.
And we asked that, I mean, the conference, the way it's been going is that like, even when people first submitted their abstracts, we had a, do you prefer a brief Q&A in there? But like, through our communication with them, we've been reiterating that if you would like to do a Q&A, whether you're doing a pre-record or a live, you need to be sure to your allotted 10 or 15 minutes. We only have a handful of 20-minute talks, so most of the talks are 15 minutes. Like that, you need to make sure to keep a couple of minutes for questions. So another suggestion, in addition to the things that Rosemary said, is maybe just double checking with the presenters to see if they, and let them be aware, like I'll be I'll be notifying you via the, I don't know, Zoom chat or whatever, or stepping in like when we're at about 2 minutes. If you've told me you want to do questions, yeah.
So did you say that?
That's very, that's very helpful.
You've already reached out to the speakers and asked for their preference of Q&A, or are you saying the moderators should include that in it?
I would verify, because we've been trying to track a lot of things, and I think when people first submitted their abstracts, it was like we were going to have an in-person conference, and then when we've been asking them, what do you prefer, pre-record or live, and trying to track that, and then asking them again and making sure they're setting up with E3. So it's just kind of like, hopefully presenters are aware of, or like reading the emails where we're like, please remember, if you want to do Q&A, this includes the 15 minutes, also includes your Q&A.
Okay, cool.
So I think I think for moderator's sake, it's great to check in with them.
Agree.
And make sure. And like Tim was saying, on Monday, we'll be able to see the links of the pre-record talks, and we have a lot of pre-record talks. I think, John, well, your session's mostly live, it looks, and
what?
Surprise, surprise. Going off the cuff.
You have 4 lives and pre-record, and
by the way, just to jump in here real quick, Tim's ready for anyone else if anybody else still wanted to get in there and test it.
I'm gonna go. Tim,
I'm gonna go. So
it might take me a few minutes to
look for Mama in the void.
Okay.
I'll tell him.
All right.
It looks like Ginny left too. So,
Kim, I had a question, or someone at E3. When we're recording this actual session for the moderators that couldn't make it, will they see both rooms in the recording?
No, unfortunately not, but I'm thinking that Tim probably recorded the other room as well, so we'll have both to show.
Okay, thank you.
So they're going to be really confused.
Actually, I had a follow-up to the recorded and live session. How do we know whether a session has live or pre-recorded or a mix of both? Is it listed somewhere?
Yeah, we have a extensive Excel sheet that has all that information in it.
Okay.
Sharing. No, it's a great question. Lots of Google Docs are spread all around. Yeah, and that's, so it'll say if it's pre-recorded or if it's live, and I think the time, the amount of time, and things like that. So.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Good news, Monica made it in.
I will, right now, try to share my screen. Is that okay? Yeah, I'm gonna just show everyone what that Excel file looks like, that Google Doc at the moment.
Sounds good.
Okay, so this is the list, and it shows everyone's name, the conference part they're in, if it's pre-recorded or live, and then here's the schedule. So you've got the PCD tracks, the talk, if it's pre-recorded or live, if the length, if the video has been edited, which is what E3 is dealing with. So and it even has the card. So Grayson, here is your session right here, and you can see, as Mamatha mentioned, it's better if it's kind of a staggered thing. So you can see Robert's going first, and he's got a pre-record, and then there'll be a live one, and then a pre-record, and a live, and then a pre-record. And the people, so yeah, they're all 15-minute talks. So you'll just have to kind of, you might go in at the beginning, give a full introduction, and then pass it over, and then like Robert's video will start, and then basically, I guess it doesn't say here, we don't know how long his video actually took. So that could be something you could check in with at the beginning or before the session and just say, like, I know you have a 15-minute long talk. if your video went 13 minutes, you have about 2 minutes for, Q&A. The live people, you'll just reiterate. And Alex is right somewhere on your screen. You can see he's right there. So he's one of your presenters. But yeah, so all this information is here. If there's, I think it's pretty much got everything in there. So hopefully I'll be helpful. And you don't have that yet, but we'll be sending it out.
Thanks for sharing that. Yeah, that's fine. I actually just grabbed a screenshot really quickly just in case, but I'll keep an eye out for that. Oh, actually, a follow-up question to that. Have we requested from presenters like a brief bio or anything that we want
I don't
they
think,
want
yeah,
us to say about them?
I think we should request that. It was one of the things in our in the general moderator guidelines, in your emails, you say,
right.
And I was realizing yesterday, I was like, oh, I guess we haven't, because usually there's something written up in the, the notebook, the little, but we don't, I guess on SCED, there was only a little bit of a bio. So yes, certainly good to request that from people.
Okay.
Anything else people can, I'm going to go through, I had some questions. So I guess, right, I mean, I was saying like, how does the session officially start? The stream is just sort of always going, and then it's whenever people enter the stream that the session starts.
Yeah, so we actually have control of it on our end, so we can,
okay.
We'll actually mask the stream, so you won't see people in the stage live room until we actually go live with that.
But I guess you would just wait until at the beginning of a session, you expect a moderator and the first presenter to come through, and then you'll let it go.
Yes. Yep.
And yeah, since we're all attending the meeting, we can also just have the site open and you can see what people are seeing as well. And we'll be able to say, oh, like that looks right. Or there's my face as the moderator still up. I should probably tell somebody about that. Just as those things there'll probably be little glitches like that. And as long as we let them know. But I mean, I'll be watching. I'm sure other board members will be watching to help out the moderators and kind of just lurking in the green room, I think, for a good portion of the time.
Yeah, it's a great point. Also, one note is you probably don't want to rely too heavy on the live feed because it'll probably be several seconds delayed. So don't rely on that for like the Q&A bouncing back and forth with the speaker, because there will be a long pause between if you do that.
How long is that pause typically?
It changes. Yeah. It can sometimes be about 12 seconds, I think, is what we had on our last one, but I think it depends on your Wi-Fi and where you're at as well.
So you're saying if for the Q&A, which will be basically just between the moderator and the presenter, they should just kind of talk to each other in the Zoom and not worry about what's happening on the stream, because that'll just be a little delayed.
Yeah, it can throw you off if you're waiting on that or listening to that as your source of them.
It probably makes sense to not have the conference stream on during our session, right? That would just,
I mean, I still think it's helpful, and maybe just turn the audio down or something on it so you have the reference of what's going on. But yeah, just don't rely on it too heavy.
Cool.
One of our moderator needs should have been like being able to see 3 screens at once. Jeez.
Requirement.
Really testing our, yeah.
Must have a command center.
We'll do a travel grant for triple monitors.
Yeah.
I mean, you can pull one up on your phone too. Sometimes that's helpful.
I'm just worried about my Wi-Fi crashing.
Valid.
Do you guys have any suggestions about that? Just because, I mean, clearly we've all been on Zoom and this and that, but like, it's mostly like your closeness to your router and how many things are pinging your same Wi-Fi. Is there any effect on like, I have lots of applications running on my computer?
Yeah, Chrome windows suck a lot of it. So if you can close as many of those as possible. Also, try not to run your microwave because that can sometimes crash it, but that's kind of random. Another thing you can do that really helps is if you can plug your system into, if you have an Ethernet port or have a USB to Ethernet adapter, and you can plug directly into your router or something along that lines. That generally helps much more stability.
In my house, the thing that you don't want to do is turn on the microwave.
Yep. We've had that happen live streaming conferences. The stream goes down. We're like, what happened? Oh, somebody was microwaving something.
I think I'm just going to pull my daughter out of school so she isn't attending Zooms all day. And
safe call.
This will be her school, right? She's going to cartography.
Map school. I think we can let people drop off if they, I mean,
yeah, if you feel
people are just going through the process and we can just stay. Yeah.
Speaking of school, Rosemary, I think it's really cool that elementary school teacher linked up with you. I think that what we have is probably over the heads of elementary school students, but hey, it's just for them to be able to be exposed to it is so cool.
Yeah, I know. I showed her the rest of it. I was like, here's a bunch of the other links. Speaking of which, do we know, Nick, is it going to be kind of the same turnaround for like posting these to YouTube after the conference? Like a few weeks or?
I'll defer to E3 on that. I think it's probably gonna be pretty quick since some of them are kind of in the can already. But that's.
Yeah, it should be a lot faster just because we've got a lot of them edited. If we are editing in the Q&A sessions, it might take another week or two to get those in the can. But.
Cool.
Can I just pop the?
I'm going to go ahead and drop off, but yeah, thank you everybody for the information. This is really helpful. And Alex, I'll see you next week.
Goodbye forever, Grayson.
Goodbye, John.
Bye-bye.
Glad to see each other again.
I'm out too, guys. See you later. Forever.
Tim said if anybody else wants to come over, he is still there, so feel free.
Would there be any value in doing a pretend board, like let's all go over and see what a lunch meeting would look like kind of situation?
Yeah, if you want to get the multi-person deal.
I mean, or is this it? I mean, are we basically in it already? So.
Oh, I'll go.
This is pretty much the format.
Thanks, Alex.
Yeah.
Hi, Alex. Well, if we go over it, but like, then we might as well, let's all go to the staging link because then he has the fancy stuff, so.
All right, watch out, Tim. We're all heading over.
My technical
I'm heading.
speak is really.